Did y'all see that Andrew Schulz kind of was addressing his appearance on Rogan? Comedy Enforcement covered it.
I watched like 13 minutes of that video.
Yeah, because
I don't remember him I don't remember seeing Andrew respond formally. I don't remember that.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, he was pretty much responding to the comments, commenting about his epiphanies.
Oh yeah,
but he was pretty much saying,
it might just be high.
Yeah, he was pretty much saying in the video, in the flagrant episode. Yeah, I saw down in the comments. You know, people were just like, commenting like, "Yo, this is stupid. This is cringy." Like, but he was like, "But can you just like think about what I'm going through? Like, everything that I thought my entire life it's been a lie. Like, I'm learning everything. It's like every day I wake up and I'm reading something, and then I just get to the point where I'm like, none of this matters." So,
it sounds like he leaning into it.
Yeah,
he was being for real.
He was dead serious. Because that's the best part about this whole, like, that's the best part about Andrew Schulz right now is like, it's so crazy, it's so cringy, but it's real. It's authentic. You know what I'm saying? It's like, he really believes this shit.
Yeah, he going through his I don't know nothing there.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's, I don't know
I remember
nothing.
when Tony was going through his. That shit lasted like, I swear, 3 weeks.
Damn.
I remember
Schulz is on a record-breaking run.
Dreaming, nigga.
But I do think it's funny because we'll watch a little bit of this comedy enforcement joint, but that's not even like the biggest thing. So that was part one. But the comedy enforcement thing was funny because in that, Schulz was also talking about, they also were kind of bringing up in that flagrant episode, people that make content about Schulz, hit piece content about Schulz. So it's not only was he addressing just his most recent debacle, it's just like this title says, addresses some of the recent hate. And it wasn't just the Rogan, it was everything all together. And then they were alluding to like, yeah, I know two platforms now. And honestly, it's like, we all know what platforms they are. Podcast Cringe and Comedy Enforcement, I feel like lead the charge on.
Oh, they definitely do.
I mean, and maybe they don't lead the charge, but they definitely have the biggest platforms in terms of like that.
They could definitely create a narrative.
For sure. That's definitely the best way to put it.
Red Bar too, maybe. You know, Red Bar be going in on everybody.
Yeah, true. But that I've never heard them bring them up or act like they didn't know what his name was just yet. But what I thought was funny though, so this video, and just to speak about that, it's like, yeah, Schultz's name is hot and has been hot for a while. He's giving us the content, like he's giving creators the content. He makes it easy on them. And because everybody feels that way, it works, right? But Podcast Cringe was kind of reaching though. So Podcast Cringe did a video, and I just thought it was funny because his video, he would clown Schulz. We would hear a soundbite. He would clown him, and I fuck with Podcast Cringe heavy. But in this particular video, at the end of all the cringy statements Schulz said, he would say, and I mean, to be fair, I do agree with what he's saying. I'm like, oh, so you just reached for this video, nigga. Like, yeah. I watched 2/3 of that video, and every cringy moment he was highlighting, Podcast Cringe, whoever hosted, said, I mean, I do agree with that, but can you just believe how he said it? I was like, all right, now, come on, bruh. You could have made a better video. Like, and you just reached on this shit.
Or just cut out the part where, you know, he was
or just focusing on the shit that he said that was stupid.
Yeah.
And I'm about to say, he's had better moments going at Andrew Podcast
For
Cringe.
sure.
When he brought up the fact that they didn't bring up the crypto shit with Logan Paul.
With Logan, yeah.
Like,
right.
he's had like real points against him before.
Yeah, he's had great points against him, but it was funny
it's funny that he be reaching that.
It was just funny that like I think there is a fetish for some people on Andrew Schulz, especially. It's like, I don't know. It's so interesting when somebody is hot and it's hot to shit on them at the moment.
It becomes a thing. That dog politics.
You have to be really cautious about it too, because like I feel like even sometimes when I'm like making topics, right? It's like, oh, Duncan on this podcast worked really well, right? It does make you want to do that shit every week, but I just feel like there's got to be a little bit off the views.
I could just do this every time.
Yeah, the views make you want to do it every week. But you really got to be careful, bro, when you're in that critiquing lane, how many times you double down on somebody.
Yeah, because you
come off like a fucking lame. You know what I'm saying? Like you come off corny. Like I feel like 3 is the charm. I think the longest you can go is a 3 week. I feel like the longest. I start feeling corny.
It's contextual.
I start feeling corny after like 3 weeks.
It's contextual though, because if it's 3 weeks of new occurrences that you
That's
have
different.
to speak on,
That is different.
Yeah.
then
That
it's
is
like,
different.
all right, you're not picking on him. He's picking on himself.
That's true. Like podcast Cringe could have took off this week.
Low key.
He could have took off a Schulz this week and
Or
just
you could have did a Brendan Shaw video.
Or
Or something.
exactly,
It's
you know what I'm
somebody
saying?
else
Yeah.
to fuck with.
there was another lane he could have went. He could have laid off.
And
But he does so much Schulz content. It's like
And everybody, what you was about to?
No, go ahead.
I was about to say everybody does like to pick on Andrew Schulz. Is he still like a underdog?
Nah.
No.
Like why is everybody?
I think it's beyond his status. I think it's just easy now. Like once you lose sight of how people actually perceive you in the comments
Yeah.
and the people who watch this, you just become a character. So we can just meme you so easily now. It happened to Brendan Schaub.
Yeah.
It was just for being bad at comedy.
well, I will say
but
too.
yeah,
I think that Comedy Enforcement kind of does the best. Comedy Enforcement is not dropping any jokes. He's not joking. He's just
He's
kind
like
of
actual critiques.
Podcast Cringe puts one-liners in this shit.
one-liners. Yeah. So
he's
comedy.
setting up for punchlines.
Yeah, so
sometimes.
Comedy Enforcement, he kind of helps me get a better idea of just what the context is, and then I'll go over to Podcast Cringe for the one-liners. But Comedy Enforcement was pretty much, I'm glad he reminded, it's like the infamous Joe Rogan 6. And really it's like a curse of the Joe Rogan 6. So it's like the reason I think he's also hot and why all 6 comments that ever since Cat Williams said that, the Joe Rogan 6 that aren't funny, they've been the hottest topics on these 2 platforms.
Yeah.
Because now all of the people out of these 6 that got the Joe Rogan effect, they've all shot to the top and then shot back down.
It validates the reason for having these channels. Podcast Cringe was formed because Joe Rogan was essentially throwing around a bunch of niggas who he shouldn't have been. That's what this all is.
Yeah.
So the fact Cat Williams came out, a black comedian who isn't really,
And put it on highlight.
he isn't visually attached to that community,
Yeah,
even though they're
that-
comedians.
yeah.
It just validates my space.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah.
It doesn't help that some of the criticism came from a real place. Like he really was doing continuous shit on his podcast that niggas was starting to get tired of. So now it's like becomes even easier to just double down on that. And then
Who was he?
Andrew
Schulz.
Schulz.
Yeah.
Schulz. Like the criticism of him
yeah,
came from a real
yeah.
place, like at one
Yeah.
point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and see that's the
That's the
danger.
thing.
That's the danger with attacking or going at somebody that much is that no matter what, even a rational person, it's easy for me to just say you got your dick hard for me. You got a hard on for me.
Yeah.
No, I know what you're doing. I picked up on it in like the first 20 minutes. I'm just not gonna give him attention. Just let him sit there.
Say you're making him uncomfortable.
That's your gay quilt.
You know. I'm about to say.
Laying your gay quilt, nigga.
Jesus Christ. Multicolor M&Ms on it. That's a perfect.
I realized it when he was like, that was gay. Perfect. I was like, so he's doing it on purpose now.
But nah, man. Shout out to Comedy Enforcement. Is Comedy Enforcement Mexican or Indian?
Doesn't matter. Probably Filipino.
I know one thing he is informative. I don't know what his race is.
Hey, shout out to all the ambiguous homies out there.
You know what's crazy? He's probably like a quarter black, a little Sicilian. Like something
Obviously.
stupid.
Well, quarter
That's not
black.
obviously.
Quarter black is redundant. You know, we're quarter black.
No, I mean, Lauren's not a quarter black.
Yeah, well,
0%.
and he has a do-rag on.
Yeah, this
Because
getting
he's a-
crazy, y'all. You know what I'm saying? White man started wearing do-rags and shit. Y'all don't even know what's going on right now.
I was about to say red bar.
Yeah.
This nigga was wearing a do-rag. Mm-hmm. And
Without a single wave.
Oh yeah, let's watch a little bit of this. Go to the timestamps for me real quick. Get the chapters. Let me see what the chapters are.
yeah, it's time.
Oh, this would be a good one. I can scroll down to him.
Or just click it right there.
Fuck
Click the
it.
arrow next to intro, next to the timestamp on the actual
Oh,
video.
yeah, right. Only talking about these.
I'm so used to seeing Andrew Schulz with that chopped fade, that like him with a full head of hair.
And-
like that should look jarring.
And
Yeah,
he
let's just go to Joe Rogan criticism. I mean, Andrew avoiding his criticism.
was lying about that movie role, right? Like that movie role was a fucking lie, right?
Yeah, that was definitely a lie because I remember
And I
when
knew
I
he
saw
was
him.
lying.
Yeah, when I saw him on stage, he was saying this is for a movie, but at this point, this is his signature.
Bro,
I think the
that's
only
not
movie-
even how movies work.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't
about to
even think
say.
that's how movies
Yeah.
work.
And I think the only movie he was filming at that time was that Snoop Dogg
That Snoop
shit.
Yeah,
That Snoop
and
Which
shit, yeah.
I don't think he had that haircut in that
Nah,
movie. I
man.
think he was wearing like, I don't remember.
I never even watched that movie.
did.
I
He
didn't
had
watch it. I just remember seeing him in like a
The
trailer
trailers
somewhere.
and shit.
Yeah.
I remember he had
Yeah.
grays though.
Yeah.
That's
They
what
made-
I'm saying.
Like I remember they made him look older.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all I remember though.
This nigga,
He played the evil coach.
Schulz.
Because his response to all of that was that everyone was wrong and they just didn't know what they were talking about. I mean, I think it's a weird hill to die on, but it is interesting that he decided to focus on the people that were saying that he was wrong and trying to argue with him instead of all the trolling and all the hate that he was receiving on the comments and all the negative, all the dislikes that he received. Because a while back, his own advice to Brendan Schaub was to lean into all the hate, which is interesting.
Unfortunately, what's happening with the Fighter and the Kid, like they have a fucking great podcast. Like they're hilarious together. Like Brian and Brendan are fucking hilarious together. And Brendan's like a really great dude. He's a genuinely sweet dude who helps people. He's the reason I got on Rogan. Like he was like, yo, you got to get this guy on. This is before anybody was looking at my shit. Like, and that really changed my life. And he's just getting destroyed by that thing. I told him to lean into it. I was like, bro, you got to sell merch. Like anything that they do about you, you got to lean in. And then I thought that they would appreciate that in one way. They're like, oh, okay, he's not ignoring and acting like this thing isn't happening. He's like taking part of this thing.
And it is interesting that Andrew Schulz is basically doing the exact opposite and not following his own advice of leaning into the hate and
did that during the
not
Rogan
avoiding the
interview.
negative feedback. And at some point,
Didn't
even
listen
went
to
as
his
far
own
as to doubling down. Obviously, not as bad as Tom Segura when he snapped at his own fans and called them out. But the argument that all the people that were hating on him or disagreeing with him were living in an echo chamber on the internet is pretty funny and ironic, because obviously that's the exact same thing that Andrew Schulz is doing right now with the show. Because before, maybe you could argue that Akash or some of the other guys on the show would challenge Andrew Schulz on some things and have a real conversation and even expose Andrew with like the whole tipping thing and all that thing that was funny. But it is now clear that Andrew Schulz completely blew up past everyone else, and it's now by far the most famous out of the four. So, you know, naturally, they can't really tell him anything and argue with him. They all have become yes men based on what we see on the show, because even though they might have a different take or a slightly different.
I'll tell you what's the most interesting part that what came out of this podcast is to find out that Andrew loves Adderall. So he be juiced up off the Adderall.
Oh, I thought that was. I think he has said that.
Yeah, I think he said it before.
Well, he probably hasn't said like, yeah, I love Adderall, but he's dropped a joke about it,
Right.
and you could tell like he is an Adderall fueled motherfucker. Like that's just his thing.
But you know what's interesting about Adderall is like he says I take Adderall and want to party. I think that means you're not supposed to be taking it. Like it's not working for you. I take
I think it's
Adderall.
working too good.
I take Adderall and I get locked in. I'm focused. I'm not in party mode. I'm in just like whatever I'm on focus mode.
Because you're not abusing it. Like you're
Yeah,
not.
because I need it.
And
Yeah,
he
'cause
take it strategically. Like he
I
took it
take it
before
for
a
the
party.
purpose. Yeah, I take it because it's prescribed and it's like it works for my
And
body. But this he
y'all
sounds
live-
like he takes it like a party drug. You
And
know
y'all
what I'm
live
saying?
two different types of lives. Like, and his prescription is probably higher, so it lasts longer. He probably has better Adderall than you.
He might not get it at the pharmacy.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
Nigga
Like-
be at fucking that Burning Man every year. He might get a year's supply.
That's
for
what I mean. Get some Addies. Fuck
It can't be that good. It can't be that good over there. Burning Man a year supply. Then we should stop podcasting. We should just go up there and just start selling pills. A year supply Adderall.
I'm down to go to Burning Man and just sell drugs. I'm with it.
But they don't.
We're
That's
going to cut the mics, but
Yeah.
I said, Lauren, we got to
so.
bleep for our next business venture.
right.
We could take grown folks lemonade with us.
Yeah, if you see Homeroom University at Burning Man, no, we are there for the chili.
We are not having fun.
We are not having fun.
I have it.
We are supplying.
they can't even bring money though, so I don't know what we would trade.
Oh yeah, they move with the barter
they
system.
don't-
Fuck
they-
Burning Man. Yeah,
We might be able to get something better than money.
Like what?
It'd be a bunch of rich tech dudes that just want to have like a real camp life for a couple weeks.
Get a bunch of iPhones,
It's something
bracelet, shit like
sponsor,
overvalued.
nigga. I don't know.
True.
There's a lot of things over there.
Sponsor.
You don't know. You ain't been.
You don't know nothing about
You always
trade.
gotta forget. You know, I always gotta keep in mind people who do like harder drugs than weed recreationally on a regular basis. Like when things don't add up, you just be like,
Yeah.
they do drugs. I forgot. You know, there's just like certain shit you be logically trying to figure out. Like when weed and alcohol is the furthest you go, and you don't just like casually take X pills and shit like that. It's like I be forgetting, like I'm trying to rationalize, like, why is he acting like that? But then I'm like, you know what, the nigga might be off something.
Exactly. And then you gotta update that list every like 10 years because there's a new harder drug that comes out. So it's like
it's fentanyl now.
Like even in that documentary, niggas was like, I smoke meth because it's safer. Like meth is one of the safer drugs.
And it really is. Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, when that was the hardest you could do 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it takes some time to perfect the the method. The
Every
craft,
10
you know
years.
what I'm saying? It takes
Every
some
10
time.
years, somebody's gonna come and try to put you out of business.
The fent kill people. So
Yeah.
they realize at least you can just lose your teeth and not your life on.
Yeah, no.
And eventually, fentanyl gonna become
gingivitis.
watered down. It's not gonna kill nobody no more. It's gonna be another
And
drug.
when that
kills
day
people.
happens, that's gonna be scary because what's gonna replace it? Something else has to. It's almost got to.
It's gonna turn you into a ghoul.
Yeah, the next drug has to have like a 50-50. You know what? Never mind. That just sounded so graphic in my mind. Never mind. Let me not say it.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I was about to say, let's talk about the fucking Alex Media.
Yeah, let's skip to something
Yeah, I just want to roast Alex.
less
Media for
obscene.
fun.
This nigga's polo. Is that a polo he's wearing?
Zoom in on it.
Yeah, go full screen. Let's cook this nigga for fun.
I don't appreciate men who get like young hairstyles too old. You know what I
I'm
mean?
with you on that.
Like,
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm
you're
with you on that.
past, this is all jokes. You're past the phase in your life where, you just get a high top fade with dreads.
It's not
nigga.
funny no more. You just said it's all jokes.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing jokey
His
joke
outfit
about
is
this
so
nigga.
tame. I'm having a hard time cooking it.
And he
I
does
just
have a
don't-
high top, right?
I just
No,
don't-
he has a high top fade.
And that's shameful. I don't
With
fuck
dreads.
with the high top.
He has a high
look,
top
man.
fade with dreads.
Once you reach
Yeah.
like
No, he
28,
doesn't. What do you
you
mean?
shouldn't have a high
Yeah.
top.
No, I promise you.
No, yeah,
I've seen him pull it up to where there was a
I feel
fade
you on
right
that.
here.
No, I feel you 100%.
Like
on that.
nigga, you ain't Kid and Play was a movie.
Yes, bro.
That was a
Fades
hairpiece.
have to be completely retired from just hairstyles for niggas because it doesn't make sense.
It has to go to taper.
Wait,
It's better.
Wait, you mean high top
fades.
fade? High top
You mean
fade.
high
you're
top
talking-
fade?
Not-
Anything that you
all.
do with a fade, like having waves with a fade, having dreads with a fade, it's stupid because you don't have the full look.
Hold up, you're saying get
No.
rid of the fade?
No,
That's
there's
crazy.
nothing wrong with the fade.
What are you talking about? Get rid of the fade? No, I hate fades.
There's nothing wrong with a fade.
So you love
In
Schultz
your
haircut?
opinion, no.
So wait. So Schultz haircut
you're
is
not
like
listening. I hate fades. I don't appreciate them.
That doesn't make sense to
I
me.
think they look stupid. Like if I was gonna get dreads, why wouldn't I just get a full set of dreads? Why would I only have dreads on the top of my head?
I agree
You're talking
with
about
that.
that. But you know
That's
you can get
all
it.
I'm
But you know
saying.
you can get a fade with a low cut. Like you
Yeah,
can still
yeah,
get like
fade.
a low
Yeah,
cut with a fade on the
fade
side.
is-
It's
Well,
not.
yeah,
It's not
fade.
just skin.
But
yeah.
when you say fade, I'm thinking fade.
Nah.
nah,
No.
But
What do
this
you mean,
goes
nah?
back to watch LOI tomorrow.
Yeah.
Watch LOI
Google
tomorrow.
fade right now and see what pulls up.
Bro, okay, hold up. Stop.
Let's be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Fade is a umbrella term for
Yeah.
for the what would you even call it?
You can fade anything.
The magic.
It's
yeah,
the-
it's a blending of the.
the blending.
It's the
Yeah.
blend. It's the
Yeah.
it's the gradual from light to dark.
Yeah,
what I'm saying.
and when you think fade, you think of unless I say temp fade, that's different. It's specific
Because
I
that's-
only have my temples faded, but you have to say temp fade.
No, okay. I think
no,
what's
man.
confusing, maybe you think everybody has hair, but I just
Yeah,
anybody
yeah.
can have a fade.
Yeah,
Nigga, the
yeah.
Boosie fade. You think
Yeah.
he's too old for that?
Oh, okay, nah, you niggas don't understand what I'm saying.
You're using the wrong terminology.
I don't
That's
like
the problem.
fades. I don't like fades. I think it's a stupid haircut. That's what I'm saying. I think it's stupid to have a piece of your hair section going on your head. It doesn't look.
Put
cool.
it like this. Put it like you can't go in a chair and be like, "Give me a fade." The barber gonna
Yeah,
be
you
like,
could.
"Which
the-
one?"
Yes,
Like,
what does that
you're like,
mean?
you can't
Yes.
just say fade. You know what I'm
Describe
saying?
to me how
When you go to
want the
Dominican barbers,
fade.
No, I go.
what's up with that,
They
nigga?
got-
If you go to a black barber and ask for a fade, I'm pretty sure you're gonna leave with
You know,
a
I
fade.
go. I go to a magician, nigga,
So why you acting like you don't speak this language?
because you can't.
What do you ask for?
You
You
can't-
say temp fade.
You can't go into a chair and be like, "Yo, just give me."
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah, you could.
I don't
Are you
think
talking
so.
about a taper?
No, so
No,
that's the thing.
that's a specific fade.
A fade and a tape. So a taper is you more so use for the sides in the
Right.
back.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, in the
that's
corners.
typically
The
in the
sides,
corner.
corners,
The
back, yeah.
sides, corners, maybe this right here. You could taper that. But
Yeah,
a
you
fade
don't wanna taper
is
that,
what
though.
is all encompassing, right? Like you can have a high top fade,
Yeah,
a
taper's
low
on-
fade,
just on the edges is
You know
taper.
what I mean? You can have a mid fade.
You
It's
can
all
get a
different types
shadow
of
fade. You can get a
A fucking
it's-
shadow. Well, Tim fade.
And I
it's
think
all-
all fades are equally stupid. That's why I use the blanket term fade.
Yeah,
You have a fade right now. It looks
It's a temp fade. I'm talking about fades
Oh
that
my
go all the way
God.
around.
okay.
okay.